The countdown.
We're there. Alrighty, hello everybody. Welcome in and welcome back to another episode of the Going the Distance podcast. My name is Ryan Bonnell, and alongside me is my co-host Elijah Spann and a special guest for today's episode, JD James Danielson. You guys might recognize him from writing some blogs over on gtdsports.com. He's also been on the podcast before, so welcome back. Thank you for being here. You guys can check him out over at Snag1025 on social media. Elijah is over at ElijahSpan19 and myself over at Ryan Bonnell8. Before we get started with the episode, be sure to go over, like I said earlier, on our website, gtdsports.com, and check out our kick-ass network of podcasts. We got 4 other shows, but tonight you're with us. So we're currently live on Twitch, YouTube, Twitter, all that jazz. It's Tuesday, December 14th. Coming in with an NFL dominant episode. We're going to be talking about a little bit of UFC, but for now, we got JD here to talk about some NFL and especially some fantasy playoff advice. Before we get into that, and then an extended love it or loathe it to wrap things up as we normally do on Tuesday. All right, well, that's it. So before we get into all that, though, we're going to start things off like we normally do with a highlight, lowlight of the weekend. And so as our guest, JD, I'll go ahead and hand it off to you for the first highlight.
All right. Well, thanks for having me, boys. Appreciate it.
Yeah, thanks for being here.
Absolutely. I've been looking forward to it all day. So I guess my highlight for the week is we finally got our first considerable amount of snowfall here in Minnesota. For those that don't know, I'm from Minnesota, and that's why I'm a big Vikings fan. Sorry. But yeah, I love the snow, so it's good. We got about 6-7 inches. A lot of it's already gone, which kind of stinks. And then tomorrow it's actually supposed to thunderstorm, which is crazy. So that happens sometimes. And my low light, I guess, is I had a pretty nasty ear infection in the house with my daughter this weekend. But we're going good now. So
that's good.
She's on the up and up.
You bet. All is good?
Oh, yeah. Everything's good to go now.
Okay. Well, I want to focus, though, on the highlight more so. The snow, that seems, I mean, for, just us as Texas boys, we can only dream of that. That must be amazing.
It is. It's my favorite, actually. A lot of people don't like winter, but I love it. It's fun getting 4 seasons.
Yeah, Texas is literally like 4 seasons within a month. Like, it was literally, it was 80, or it was like 60, I mean, honestly, like 40 degrees at some points during the night in late October, early November. And then today it was 75 outside.
That's crazy.
Like, It makes no sense.
And tomorrow it's supposed to be like 55 and like 55 mile an hour winds with thunderstorms and like a slight chance of tornadoes.
Tornadoes?
So, yeah, with snow on the ground. That's pretty wild, huh?
That is, I mean, yeah, because Texas, we're Tornado Alley, so that's not all. I mean, but in December, That would be weird.
Yeah, we kind of, there's times every year where we get all 4 seasons in about 24 hours. It happens. I'm not even joking. It's crazy.
I believe it. All right, Elijah, what do you got?
So I went golfing on Saturday, and that was great. But so I lost my pitching wedge on like the first par 3. I just left it there.
I was about to say, did you lose it or leave it?
I left
maybe threw it in the woods.
Yeah,
probably. I didn't play that great. And then I didn't have it, and I called Monday. I left my name and number. Never got a call. I checked. I called Monday, like still nothing. Or called Sunday, still nothing. Called Monday, still nothing. Called again. They have it, and I was stoked. So that was definitely because I already lost my 8-iron out of that bag once out of that set. And pretty upset about that because 8-iron was probably my favorite club, and the pitching wedge is my most used club. And so if I would have lost both of those, that would have been pretty salty. So
I mean, plus
I got it back.
Financially, they're just ridiculously priced. I mean, you can get them on like Facebook Marketplace, I guess, used and stuff.
But it'd be different because I already have that set. I don't want to get a different pitching wedge out of a different set because it's shit's different and
might change your rhythm.
Just a lot of money, but that's just what golf's all about, spending money. And then Lowlight.
Essentially, yes. Essentially. Getting drunk and spending money.
Yeah. And then Lowlight is I got some free play because of a very unfortunate DeAndre Swift bet. And then I lost all of my free play on parlays that never hit. So that sucked.
Yeah, that's part of the
because that's what Yeah, that's what any normal person does with free plays. They make parlays, and that's what I did. And a couple of them, dude, the one on Sunday, it was good. It was going good all day. I had Falcons plus 2.5. I had Titans -9, and then Texans +9. Texans were playing all game, and then they just got blown out, just like all of a sudden in the fourth quarter. So,
Dude,
bummer.
NFL bets have been so fucky lately.
You got to be smarter.
It's
Got to be
wild.
smarter. Yeah.
Yeah, it's
But
been tough.
DFS has been a nightmare the last month. I'm not gonna lie to you.
I haven't been doing DFS as much this year. I'm gonna try and get on it for the last few weeks, especially
bet you-
because like what?
DFS has got to be fun for playoffs because they do.
Oh,
I
it's
know, like
a blast.
yeah.
That's I
That's
want
my
to get involved
favorite
for
time
that.
to play
Yeah.
it.
Do you do like
I
the captain showdown a lot?
Yeah, I pretty much hone in on those during the playoffs.
Yeah, that's usually my favorite to do.
Yeah, and actually, I just started doing the live. I don't know what DraftKings calls it, but it's so you're doing it while the game is going on.
Oh
And
yeah,
so you draft for like the second quarter or the third quarter or whatever it may be. I've been doing that a lot lately. That's fun, actually.
Okay.
I feel like there could be some value in that too. Like if like a really good player is having a rough first half, like he's bound to
Right.
bounce back or something.
Right.
Like
And so they give you like 15 seconds to pick a player. They give you like 3 or 4 to choose from.
mhm.
And then one will have like a multiplier on it, or the other one might have a times 2.
Oh, I think
multiplier
I've done
on
that
it.
before actually.
Yeah, it's actually very interesting. I just started doing that, and it's a lot of fun. I
That
highly
sounds like it would
suggest
be.
Yeah.
It sounds stimulating because just
It is.
Yeah, exactly. Sounds like it can get you hooked easy.
Yeah, that's the problem.
Yeah. All right. So my highlight though, staying on the sports betting theme, was not over the weekend. It was last night though, on Monday Night Football. Somehow, some way, by the graces of the gambling gods, I hit Odell Beckham Jr. first touchdown scorer at plus 1150 odds, which I'm probably like 0-6 on first touchdown bet scorers this season. So that made up for my losses and a little bit more. But oh, that felt good seeing him run that little quick slant to the end zone. That was glorious.
I bet.
And then my low light, though, kind of unsports related. My sports related one would just be the Bengals choking in overtime against the Niners, which was, oh my God, that game was huge. That was a huge swing game for us.
I forget
But-
you're a big Bengals fan.
Yeah. It's that game. Literally, if we won, we would be first in the division. If we lost, we're out of the playoffs. Like, so we got to win at least probably 3 out of our last 4 if we really want to get in. But
You should probably win out.
Yeah.
that would be great.
honestly.
That'd be okay with me.
We'll get to Bengals in a minute though.
Yeah,
more
we'll
in
get to that in a
depth.
minute. But my true low light has just been this week is finals for me. I have 3 exams tomorrow back to back to back. So apologies if my energy is not up where it normally is. I'm a little bit drained just from staying in the library a lot, grinding it away. Once I'm done though, I'm done. It's also just kind of at that point where I'm like, damn, I really only have 1 semester of college left. So
Yeah.
that's
It's almost
that's the
like you're
low light.
working like a full-time job right now with school.
Yeah.
You
Yeah,
know?
honestly, it's not fun.
So,
And I'm trying to I can't wait for next semester because I'm only doing 7 hours next semester.
you
so-
bastard.
Yeah, it's nice. That's all I need left to
You
graduate.
motherfucker.
And
Oh.
so I'm going to have so much more time to work on GTD and stuff. Like, that's my goal, is to really use that before grad school and everything.
Yeah,
Good
I've
for
been,
you, Ryan.
I've been trying to write more blogs and all that, but man, just working with my schedule. I work for a logistics company, so I have to start really early in the morning. I go in at 6:45, come out at 4:15. So like, I come out, it's pretty mentally draining, and I
I
don't know.
can bet. Jeez.
I'm calling truck drivers all day. They're just delightful people.
Oh my God, they are so delightful. Trust me, I
Yeah.
know.
Yeah. So I just come home pretty mentally drained. Haven't been able to do it as much, which really makes because I want to write more. But yeah, trying to find the mental strength to do it.
We'll get on the groove. We're coming up on like the 1-year anniversary of the website being a thing, even. So we'll,
Yeah.
Oh,
Yeah.
that's sweet. I didn't know
Yeah.
that.
yeah, it was. I think it's January 21st was the official day, I believe.
Should
I
we
could-
do like a year in review?
We should. I think it would be fun.
Okay. We should definitely do that. And we should definitely give out some awards.
Yeah, that would be
Have
fun
like an
too.
award show.
Yeah,
Why not?
I would like that. Yeah, let's do that.
Just thinking
That
out loud
sounds
here.
fun.
Yeah, we could do public. We could also do even just like something, with the staff and everything. But yeah, we could definitely do something like on our podcast.
Oh no, we'll do it. We'll do it on the show for the staff. And
Yeah, exactly.
We'll make it a Twitter thing, and it'll be a fun time. It'll be like
Yeah, no, I
but
like
better.
that. I like that. And we could
All right.
start doing that like annually and stuff.
Yeah,
That'd be cool. Because I mean, we got a lot of stuff coming. We're now officially somewhat of an announcement. We're like, well, lawyer fucked up the paper. Don't know if I can say that, but we have to rework the paper now. But Elijah and I are like just one signature away from having GTD Sports as an official company in the eyes of the law. So exciting stuff coming in the future. But alas, we can talk about that another time. Let's get into some football for now. We're going to do another How Are We Feeling segment. For those unfamiliar, this is essentially just some questions, some talking points. We go through and decide how we're feeling about it, give our take, give our opinion on it. And starting off, we got Urban Meyer. How do we feel about the Urban Meyer experience being a disaster? Because I don't think we can argue it's been a disaster.
It's bad.
It's bad.
yeah.
It's not good.
It's a good way to say it.
I mean, what they're 2-11.
I think so, with like a fluke win over the Bills, and then I forgot who their other one was.
But the record is even the worst part of it.
Yeah, it's all everything in between.
Yeah, with him, getting grinded on at a club, and then apparently I don't know, with the controversy about, have you guys heard how him and his assistant coaches with how he apparently was going on saying that they've never won anything, like making them prove their accomplishments and whatnot. Like, but then he denied it and said that was a false report. So like, but of course, what else?
Urban Meyer's never told a lie.
Right. Yeah. The most truthful human on the planet.
Big truth teller guy. So I don't think so.
I saw a graphic that it was whenever Urban, after his retirement from college coaching, when he was an analyst for a short bit, there was a graphic that said like keys to successful coaching, and it was like establishing culture, locker room trust, and stuff like that. And then it was like
pretty much everything he doesn't have.
Yeah, I was like, hold on a second. Like, are you sure about that, Urban? Like,
well, he had it in college, so
yeah. Oh, I mean, definitely. Yeah, he had it in college. That's another question too. Is do you think he's like only built for college? He's one of those guys. Because I mean, you could say that about Nick Saban too. He kind of flopped in the NFL.
I mean, he could be. Yeah. What's his contract? Does anybody know what that is? Like, I'm
Saban?
No,
Urban Meyer.
Urban Meyer.
Good question.
I remember it was fat.
I thought it was only for a few years. Like, it wasn't super long though.
It's not going to last. I know
expensive.
that.
Yeah, it was expensive. It wasn't. It wasn't like one of these crazy like 10-year contracts, but I think it was. I want to say 4 to 5 years with a lot of money.
With a lot of money.
With the bag.
With the bag.
So,
yeah.
That's
I think.
bad.
Hey, all I'm saying is, hear me out. Urban Meyer to Notre Dame at the end of the season. Notre Dame hasn't. Oh wait. Oh shit. Notre Dame did hire a coach.
Yeah, they hired their DC.
My conspiracy's already busted. Never mind.
Well,
yeah, Freeman. I like that hire though with Freeman. Anyway, I was thinking of somewhere that Urban could sneak into on the college scene.
Probably.
No.
He'd like those college bars.
Yeah. I mean, the one he went to was like named after him and everything.
It was his place.
Really?
He owns it.
Yeah.
Oh, really?
He owns it?
That.
Yeah, Urban's Pie House. Like, it's his bar.
I thought it was just named after him. Okay.
No.
That makes sense.
No, it's his whole.
Well, I mean, it still doesn't make sense why he was being grinded on by a co-ed. But
so is that like a hall pass for him or what?
Yeah. What if it was literally just like a hall pass and the media caught it or something? Like, just put him on blast. I mean, either way, it's still kind of
right. Well, it's not good.
Yeah, not a good look.
That's just one of those situations where it's just so weird and so bizarre. Like any like weird conspiracy theory that you have about it, like I'll buy into it. Like the one that he's trying to get fired, or like I don't know, whatever you can make up about it. I'll just be like, I guess I'll believe it because I don't know.
He's a weird dude. I wonder what goes on in his head.
You probably don't want to know.
Honestly. Like,
I mean, he's without his fair share of controversies too in college. I mean, at Florida, there was a whole lot of shit that went down.
This isn't a first time thing.
No. I mean, But in college, you can kind of get that shit covered up because there's boosters, and when you win, everything's okay.
Right.
But just with NFL, just things are a lot more different, a lot more up in the air. You can't really pay off people because the media is just so big. He just wasn't built for it. He's too shady of a guy to succeed in the NFL. And
Yeah, I don't think it lasts long.
And we should have known it, Ryan, because me and you were both like, we are dumbasses when we bought into it. We're like, I think Urban Meyer could succeed in the NFL.
Yeah.
Oh, he's going to crush it.
Yeah.
This is the turnaround. This is the turnaround, man.
He accepted this job so he could be with Trevor Lawrence, and then look what he's done with Trevor Lawrence. Trevor Lawrence has looked like dog shit.
Terrible.
Yeah, I wonder how much of Urban, is to blame for that fact, or how much, Trevor just really kind of struggled to make that leap. I wonder, because who knows? Maybe they get a new coach, a new system, and Trevor thrives. Because, he has the facilities, he's talented, he's athletic.
It just blows my mind, though, because, you have good weapons.
Yeah.
Marvin Jones, and you have Laviska Shenault, and you got James Robinson.
DJ Chark, too.
DJ Chark, and it's a ghost town down there for points. It's unbelievable.
Yeah, and Etienne's coming back next year.
Yeah,
so
he'll be
that
back.
could also be something.
I can't figure it out.
Their O-line's pretty subpar. I do know that, but
that is true.
Yeah, it doesn't help. But
my main takeaway from this is, like, 5 years ago or even 10 years ago. Actually, I don't know where Kingsbury was a decade ago. I know where he was 5 years ago at Tech. If I were to tell you that Cliff Kingsbury would be coaching circles around Urban Meyer in the NFL, like, you would have thought I was crazy. But that's what we're seeing. We got a Coach of the Year candidate, and then likely the hottest of the hot seat candidates in Urban Meyer.
I would have taken that bet against you for sure.
Yeah.
Right.
Anyway, next up, though, we asked this question last week as well, but we have to ask it again because of recent events with their game against the Bucs. Are the Bills frauds?
I'm going to say no.
I agree with you. I'll let you explain.
I'm going to say no. Obviously, they lost to Jacksonville. That was a big oopsie.
Yeah.
I think that's a trap game to a T. The Colts they lost to. They got a good defense.
They got blown out by the Colts.
Yeah, they got a good defense, and Jonathan Taylor
they've just been playing well. Yeah,
is arguably top 2 candidate for MVP right now.
Yeah.
The Patriots are a good team. Shitty weather. You can't decide what's going to happen in that game with what they were dealing with on Monday night. It's just, that's football weather, but, anything can happen. You can have a game plan, and you just never know. They could have put the ball on the ground 10 times. The Patriots looked really good, I thought. They ran the ball right down their throat. But I think the Bills, it's Josh Allen. He's a stud. Stephon Diggs is good. I think they have a chance. I really do. I think they're better than what they're getting credit for and what the record shows. That's just my opinion, but
they were my preseason Super Bowl pick, so that's part of the reason why I'm kind of sticking by them. Like, I believe in them still. They've had some tough games, and their one this last weekend too was another tough game. But you got to give them some props too for coming back. What was it, like 24-3, and they forced it to OT?
Yeah, and they came back, and then Tom Brady just does what Tom Brady does, and that's just kind of the name of the game at this point.
Exactly. It also, too, though, is Josh Allen has been kind of receiving some hate in the media. People saying he's overrated and whatnot, but I think he's fine.
He looked terrible that first half, and then he really turned it on the second half.
Yeah.
He's fun to watch, without question.
Yeah, he's had a few more questionable moments than last year for sure. But
yeah,
I still think he's a guy that can lead them to a playoff run, potentially a Super Bowl. I still don't know if he's like a guy to win the Super Bowl quite yet.
He could, and he probably will get there, I would imagine. The one thing about Josh Allen that people tend to forget is that the guy can run.
Yeah.
And that's huge when it comes to being a quarterback in the NFL. You look at how much better they are as far as making plays happen, extending plays, keeping drives alive, that kind of thing. Tom Brady would probably be the exception to that, but that's because he's the greatest to ever play the game, in my opinion.
Yeah.
But yeah, I think they're going to be fine, to be completely honest with you.
Elijah, what do you think?
I think they're frauds. I think that so they've already doubled their loss total from last year. They're 7-6. Their best stretch of the season, which was against a horrible competition. They blew out the Dolphins, the Texans, and then somebody I can't remember. They went on that run where they're just blowing out everybody. Oh, the football team when they were really bad before they got their shit together. And they lost against the Patriots in a close divisional game. Yes, you could say, oh, the weather was a factor, blah, blah, blah. But what's the Bills' offense's biggest problem? The run game. So in a game like that, they can't win at all. Like I knew for a fact that the Patriots had that game on lock because any team like Bill Belichick can run the ball no matter what. And deep in the playoffs, like you need to have at least one game that you can pull out where you have to rely on running the ball. They can't do that. So the Bills as Super Bowl contenders, they're frauds. Maybe next year they can get it together. Maybe get some more offensive linemen that are better running the ball or another running back. I'm not really quite sure what the problem is. Yeah, Josh Allen can run the ball. He's a hell of a runner. He's great. He had 100 yards rushing last week. But do you really want your franchise quarterback taking the rock every week?
Well, I mean, I think that's a separate point, like how much he rushes. But I don't know. I think they could be a team going into playoffs that won't be favorited by any means, but look at the Buccaneers last year. They were 9-7 entering the playoffs, or
They were
right?
11-5.
Oh, 11-5, really?
Yeah.
All right. Well, they weren't favorited. They were one of the lower seeds. But
yeah, they were in the wild card week.
I feel like the Bills could be one of those teams kind of this year. But I don't know. We'll see. Because you're right, they have lost the close games, and the good teams that are Super Bowl contenders win those close games, but sometimes it's about getting hot at the right time. So if they get hot right now and they win these last 4 games, then I think they have the talent to do so. It's just about getting it together.
Yeah. I mean, I was right there with you. I mean, they were my pick to go to the Super Bowl as well. I had them in the Packers, but man, I'm not high on them right now. I'm pretty low. Like I just think that them as Super Bowl contenders is out the door.
Out the door. That's
I mean, they could maybe make a playoff run, win in the wild card round, be competitive in the divisional. But for them to win the wild card round, win the divisional, and then win the AFC Championship, I'm not buying it.
It's a tough road ahead of them. There's no question about that.
Yeah, it is tough.
But I think that they could probably pull it off if they really catch fire.
They would have to. They would really have to go on a streak here.
If Josh Allen puts up crazy numbers and looks great these next few games going into the playoffs, like you said, if you get hot at the right time, that's what you need to do.
Because I mean, they play the Panthers, the Patriots, the Falcons, and the Jets. That should at least be 3-1.
Yeah,
so
you would think anyway.
And I think they could. I mean, they could beat the Patriots. I know it would be tough, but a lot of times you play a team twice, you play them better the second time. So
right.
But again, that one's going to be in Foxborough, though.
I was just going to say they're in New England, though, and that's
well,
that's
the Patriots win.
They look good too.
To an end at some point as well with that, but that's just for that game, and that's how I'm going to look at it into betting. But in the grand scheme of things, it's going to be tough for them.
Yeah,
it is.
All right, next up, though, we got another potential Super Bowl contender. The Chiefs are back, right? How are we feeling about it?
Now, I kind of feel about the Chiefs how Elijah feels about the Bills.
Interesting, because I feel pretty confident on the Chiefs now.
I do and I don't. So their defense is improving, which is good because they were trash at the beginning of the season.
Yeah, horrendous. Yeah.
Oh, terrible.
Historically bad.
Yeah, no, it's really, really bad. But so that is getting better. And this kind of is a precursor into my blog for Thursday Night Football because the Chiefs take on the Chargers. But, I looked at some of Mahomes' stats and all of that stuff that's been going on with fantasy football, and he's been great for your team, but he hasn't been that player that's going to lead you to victory every week. And that is one thing that's missing this season from the Chiefs as an NFL team, not from like the fantasy aspect of it, is that they haven't really blown everybody out like they were before and putting up 45, 50 points a game. It's just not there right now. And,
well, last week, I mean,
right. But so
yeah.
here's my point. They did that to the Raiders twice this year, but that's it.
Yeah, you're right. And they're a very broken Raiders team right now.
But so the other side of that argument is I think that they could do the same thing as the Bills and catch fire at the right time.
I mean, they're on fire right now.
They are, and I think they're going to continue to do so. But they have to get through San Diego, Los Angeles.
I know what you mean.
And for some reason, I just have the feeling that the Chargers are going to win that game on Thursday night. I don't know why.
I mean, the Chargers are playing well right now as well.
Yeah,
so
Justin Herbert is on a tear.
Yeah,
which is fun to watch.
Not against my Bengals though. That sucked. They put up 41 on us.
Yeah.
No, but I think, it was kind of funny because me and Elijah were talking about it right before that first Raiders game where they blew them out. Because before that was when they were struggling. I mean, everybody was questioning what was happening. And so that's kind of what we were talking about was, what's going on? Are they done? Are they frauds? And I remember saying that like that Raiders game was going to set it right. Like, and they were going to be the Chiefs again and they're doing it. They're doing it. So I think they're definitely Super Bowl contenders. Do I personally have them going all the way? No, I don't. But I think they could. I don't want them to either. I don't want to see the Chiefs again.
Man, it's kind of tough for me because I've been kind of shitting on the Chiefs all year. So I'm going to stick to my guns a little bit. But damn, do they look better.
They look really good.
They look much better.
They look a hell of a lot better, especially their defense, like we talked about. But I'm still gonna stick to my guns and say that they're not gonna be in the Super Bowl. And that was my bold prediction at the beginning of the year: is that the Chiefs were not gonna make the Super Bowl.
I would agree with that.
And so I'm gonna stay kind of where I've been, but I am a little bit scared about it. But I'm not gonna back out.
All right, next up, this one's a little bit personal to me. So the Bengals have dropped 2 games in a row after blowing out the Steelers. How do we feel about their playoff chances? I feel very, very grim. Like I don't feel good at all. Literally, oh my God. Like my emotion, I was very emotional during that overtime. And so we got the field goal. I was like, we have it in the bag. I was like, we just fucking pulled off the comeback. Our defense has been stopping them all second half. And then, of course, the one drive that matters most, they can't do it. But anyway.
Now you know how I feel every fucking week.
Yeah, it's been rough for Minnesota. But no, I just think that game was huge. Like I said earlier, if we won, we would have been leading our division. But again, the AFC North is literally one game away. I think both us and the Browns are 7-6 now, and then the Ravens are 8-5. So literally one game away. Anything could happen at this point in the season because we play the Ravens too. That's going to be a huge game. Is if we beat the Ravens twice, we could end up winning the division, and we play the Browns still. So if we beat the Browns and beat the Ravens, I think we're golden. But I would give us what?
Are you in Baltimore?
No, we're in Cincinnati.
I think you'll win that game.
I hope so. They've been playing sketchy. The Baltimore has lately.
They've been playing like garbage.
Also, that we lost the game against the Niners because we had 2 muffed punts. How often in an NFL game do you have 2 muffed punts, let alone 1? Like 2? Oh my God.
There's some lucky bastard in Vegas that won a ton of money on that.
Yeah, I was thinking like the odds on that had to be amazing. But I would say percentage-wise, I would give us a 33% chance, like a 1 in 3 chance right now to make playoffs after that loss.
I actually like y'all's chances better to just go ahead and win the division outright than to make a wild card spot. So
that would be the better odds probably.
It's kind of weird because y'all are only 1 game back, right, from the Ravens, and Lamar just got hurt.
Yeah, and we're tied with the Browns, but they have the tiebreaker because they smashed us.
Right. Man, that's tough. The AFC North is definitely going to be one of those teams to watch for down the stretch. Like, even if you're not a fan of one of those teams, just because the playoff race is going to be so good, and the Steelers are going to be competitive with the other guys that they still have to play. I think they still have 1 game left against the Browns at least, and then
I mean,
I
they're like
guess
6-7, right? So
6-6-1.
oh yeah.
Yeah, it's the tie, which just messes everything up.
I mean,
But,
that's fine by me. It helps with
yeah.
the playoff. It's basically like a loss in terms of the playoff race.
And then, so the Bengals already beat the Steelers twice, lost against the Browns, beat the shit out of the Ravens. So if y'all guys can win out those 2 divisional games, I mean, I would say that greatly helps out your chances. So
I think
really,
you're gonna be fine.
Yeah.
You do? I
I
mean,
do.
okay, it's music to my ears.
I would put it at, what are the odds actually? Because I know around this time of the year you can start putting on bets on fringe teams to make the playoffs or not.
Sure.
What are their odds to make the playoffs?
I'll
I'd
look
be
it up.
curious.
I'm not
I
sure.
want to say
I
mine.
ju-
It's 135.
I just think that the Browns and the Ravens are going in the wrong direction, and you guys are going in the right direction. And I think that bodes well for the AFC North for you. But that's
So
just my opinion.
I don't see any like sports betting odds on it, but I do see that a win against the Niners would have put us at a 57% chance, and a loss put us at a 32.8% chance.
So you're nailing the head.
Yeah, like literally like 33 statistically. Interesting. That's Bengals Wire from USA Today. Yeah, I can't find any sports betting odds on it. Oh wait, sportsline.com. That's got to be something. Oh no, that's just the betting odds for their game against Denver.
All right then.
Oh wait, no, plus 175 to make it.
Oh, I would take that bet.
Plus 175. That's
I would take that.
I don't
bet.
know. It's a little bit of juice.
Yeah.
All righty. Next up, we got the NFL had a record 37 positive tests for COVID on Monday, and more are expected to come. How is this going to affect the playoff race?
It's going to affect a lot, actually, I think.
Yeah.
I think before we just came on, it was either Schefter or somebody else just tweeted that it was 75 positive cases in the last 2 days.
God damn.
Okay, so that number went up. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yep. Damn. And it's been crazy too because it was like that before the weekend. The Rams are really affected. The Browns are another team.
The Dolphins, their whole backfield.
There might be
the
some
Dolphins.
postponements soon.
It's just crazy.
Yeah, because it was a non-factor pretty much
All last season too.
Yeah, all this season it's been pretty much been in the back of the bus, and now all of a sudden like it's just taking the forefront of just guys just not missing time. Like Cowboys
Right.
even like no major players missed out, but McCarthy was out, and I can't remember. It was like one guy that missed, but mostly the coaching staff.
Well, Cooper had it. Amari Cooper had it.
That's right. I'm
Yeah.
sorry.
Fucked over my fantasy team for a little bit.
That happens.
Yeah. No, the Bengals, though, honestly, they haven't had any problems with COVID. I can't think of a single player that's been out with it.
You should probably find some wood to knock on.
Yeah, good point. Yeah, now come our playoff push, Joe Burrow is going to be out. Joe Mixon's out. Like
Oh,
that's
God.
on. That's on
Who
me.
is your backup quarterback?
I know
Finley?
his name. What?
Ryan Finley?
No, Finley's gone. It's Brandon Allen. Brandon Allen. I
Oh,
forgot
you're
where
right.
he went.
It's Brandon Allen.
Yeah, I forgot where he went for school, but he's not very good. I can
Brandon
tell you
Allen
that.
went to Arkansas.
Arkansas. Okay, Yeah,
That's
he's not
funny.
very good. It was Ryan Finley though, the NC State guy.
Yeah, he was.
He was
decent.
also not good. it
mean,
was
for
it was
backup.
rough. What?
for a backup.
Yeah, I mean, I guess he's
He's
okay.
probably no Cooper Rush, but
Oh yeah, okay. Who do the Vikings have?
Kellen Mond.
Mond.
Oh yeah, I knew that actually. Yeah, that was a good pick. I think I like him.
Yeah, in about 6 years when he's developed.
He's definitely a project. All right, next up, speaking of quarterbacks, though, how do we feel about Mike Glennon, backup for the Giants and current starter right now because Daniel Jones is out? Mike Glennon's locker room nickname is apparently Neckosaurus because
Really?
if you don't know, his neck is literally just absurdly long, like
He's a
probably the longest
freaking
neck I've ever
giraffe.
seen. Yeah, basically.
Huh. You think he'd have an advantage? You could probably see over the line a lot quicker and know the package in the secondary.
Yeah, I'm sure it adds a couple inches to his height. I love it though. I think that's because I mean, obviously, people in the media joke about it and make memes about it and stuff, but to know that his teammates in his locker room just refer to him as Nicosaurus, I think that's hilarious.
It is funny.
It makes me wonder what Davis Mills' nickname is.
It's General Mills, isn't it?
Oh, because Davis Mills also has a fat neck too.
Yeah, he's got a huge neck too, but General Mills works. Yeah.
Oh, he's just started for the season now, right?
Yeah.
Yeah,
Think
they
so.
choked
Yeah,
away my bet this weekend.
They benched Tyrod, or did
They did.
Yeah.
Yeah, they said that Mills is going to start for the rest of the season.
All right, there's really not much to say about Nicosaurus. I just thought that one was pretty funny. I had to include that.
I mean, it is. It's a fascinating neck.
All right, so how do we feel about the idea of the Jaguars? Kind of going back to this, we already hinted on it. How do we feel about the Jaguars being more dysfunctional than the Texans? Do you think this is true, or would you still give the crown to Houston?
Man, that's tough. They're even, I think.
Yeah, honestly, I think they're definitely like the scum of the scum right now.
It's kind of like that South Park episode. Like, would you rather have a big douche or a turd sandwich? Like,
yeah,
they both suck pretty hard.
Right.
I think I'd probably still say the Texans are just slightly worse overall.
Texans are tough because, like, Texans don't have a future right now because they're about to get rid of Deshaun, right?
Yeah.
And then the whole other stuff that's going on with that guy that I don't really feel like getting into. And then
they have
but
to
at
be
least
on a complete rebuild, it seems.
Yeah. Right. Like they're not don't have anything to like look forward to. At least with the Jaguars, you could say, well, we have Trevor Lawrence still. We have Josh Allen on the defensive side. Like we have James Robinson, who's still a really good running back, and ETN, who knows what. But like they have some pieces that you could like kind of get excited about, maybe, even though they've all looked like shit except for James Robinson.
I'd
Josh
say
Allen.
The future is much brighter for Jacksonville than it is for Houston at this point.
Yeah, that's a good point,
Right.
especially like talent-wise too. They do have a lot more just raw talent. Yeah, because I've seen also videos of like Texan games have just zero fans at them this year.
Yeah. No, Houston's future is just bleak, and like every good player they have is either left town, got traded, or just
wants to be.
Or wants to be.
Wants out somehow.
And David Culley, he's a lame duck head coach. I mean, he's not going to be around for that much longer. Same thing for Urban Meyer, but at least you could attract a good head coach to come to Jacksonville with the opportunity to kill him. With Trevor Lawrence. I think Kellen Moore has been thrown out there a couple times.
That would be interesting.
It would be interesting. I still don't want it, but
I just don't know what does Houston have to offer as far as a team and organization goes. Like
nothing.
There's nothing.
Literally
going on.
nothing right now. Yeah.
Right.
I mean, I guess they have to offer the opportunity to rebuild a program, you know what I mean, or like an organization.
Well, that sounds
from the ashes.
Hey, I mean, if somebody comes in there, builds it from the ashes over like 7 years, they're going to be a legend in Houston.
Right, that's true.
And they would have the opportunity to do it just the way that they want to do it. They don't have to tweak anything. They could do it exactly how they want to.
I feel like that's probably the only selling point.
That's the only silver lining in this situation for sure.
Everything else is just bad. All right, we're going to end it with a fun one. So over the weekend, finishing last night, there was a sports bettor on the FanDuel Sportsbook who had a 13-leg parlay risking $20 to win $101,000. And all he needed, it was literally every spread from the weekend. All he needed left was Cardinals -2 to cash it. And he decided not to hedge it and not to cash out for the $33,000 offer. How do you feel about that decision to let it ride? My take is because that's every sports bettor's dream, flipping $20 into $100K.
Right.
But if that was my opportunity, I would do whatever it took to get the funds to bet $50,000 on the Rams to cover. That way I have a guaranteed $50K no matter what. That's what I would do. But also the cash out is pretty enticing too, $33K. I don't know.
I would have taken that 33,000. I mean,
I think I would have
also,
too, honestly.
yeah. I actually love the Rams. I almost bet on them, and then Jalen Ramsey was out with COVID, and then I was like, oh, maybe I won't. And then
I had Rams +3, which was nice.
Yeah, I should have stuck with it, but then the Ramsey thing made me back out. So this guy's just should have bet on the Rams. Like, I don't know what to tell you. Parlays.
Dude, I don't know. Emotionally, dude, that guy has to. I mean, he's gonna remember it for the rest of his life. But could you imagine though, literally just being one game away from 100K? Like, that's life-changing money. You can do a lot with 100K.
33,000 is life-changing money.
Yeah, honestly, you could do a lot with 33K.
I was just thinking I could find something to do with it.
Yeah. I bet I could do something.
33K is a down payment on a house.
Dude, 33K is a lot of parlays, dude. You could place. Think about it.
Yeah. Like, you could have just ran it back with like 10 more the next week.
Exactly, dude.
Like,
it doesn't even count. Doesn't affect you. No, but I just thought that was nuts.
You would have free gambling money for the rest of your life with 33K.
Yeah, okay. Theoretically, yeah, but I feel like you would want to spend some of it or take some of it.
Yeah, I know, but I'm just saying, like, for the
you could establish like a bankroll. You know what I mean? Like, just leave like $5,000 in it and be like, this $5,000 is my gambling money for the rest of ever. You know, like if I'm up, and I just leave it in there. You know what I mean? That's what I want to start doing.
That we can do that in Minnesota because we can't do that.
You said what?
I look forward to the day when sports gambling is legal in Minnesota because we can't do that.
Oh, we also look forward to the day because it's not legal in Texas.
Yeah,
but you know, people.
We just know a guy.
Oh, yeah. We know a guy.
I wish I did.
Yeah.
Oh, we can help.
Yeah, I'll set you up.
We'll talk about that after the podcast. All right, that's it though for how we feeling. So next up, JD's specialty. We got some fantasy football playoff talk. Playoffs are finally here. Hopefully, everybody had a good season.
Yeah, how'd you guys do?
My main league, I am the 2 seed, and I had the bye week. But in my other leagues, not so hot.
Yeah,
I didn't even make playoffs.
I also am the 2 seed in my personal league with my friends. I went 8-6, but also the most points scored, so that was nice.
Yeah, me too.
And
yeah, that was nice.
I had the bye, so that was nice.
Right on.
And then, yeah.
But you guys co-own a team?
Yeah, that's what I was about to bring up.
We missed the playoffs. We were the 7th seed.
By 1 game. And it was, you know, the thing too is we literally lost like 2 games because of last minute decisions to like swap people.
Yeah, you can't do that.
Yeah, lesson learned. It sucked.
You stick to your gut. That's my rule of thumb. You always stick to your gut.
Didn't make playoffs in our own damn league.
Yeah.
It is what it is.
That happens sometimes though. I mean,
we'll get out of the shit the shit bowl or whatever it is.
You can't win them all, right?
No.
What about you? How'd you do?
I made the playoffs in all my leagues. I'm 9-5 in one, and then 8-6 in 2 other leagues.
Nice.
Okay.
So I did the same strategy drafting this year in every single league, and then it was either going to pay off or it wasn't, and it paid off so far. So I did a 0 RB draft strategy this year.
Oh,
so I didn't draft a running back until the 6th round.
No shit.
Who was your RB1?
I got Damian Harris in round 6.
Wow.
Okay.
I mean, honestly, that worked out.
Yeah, it did. I got lucky. And then actually, I lost Gus Edwards to the IR, obviously. So that was a heartbreaker. that sucked because I was really looking forward to his season. I think he was going to have a major breakout season.
I did too. Yeah, I was excited. I like Gus. Gus Bus.
Yep. So that bothered me, but it still worked out in the end. So just for an example, I took Kelsey number 1. I was the 8th pick in a 12-man league. I took Kelsey, and then I came back around and I took Cooper Kupp. And then came back around and took Deontay Johnson. And then came back around and took Adam Thielen. And then came around and took McLaurin. And then Damian Harris, Gus Edwards. And then Kirk Cousins.
Okay.
And then Taylor Heineke. So we do a 2-quarterback league.
Oh, okay.
It's a super flex. It's a super flex.
Oh, okay. Yeah, that's
so
nice.
I had a double stack with Heineke and McLaurin and Cousins and Thielen.
That's a nice strategy.
And that worked out really well. and we also do an IDP, which if anybody's listening and wants to try something different in their fantasy leagues, I highly suggest doing an IDP, and I highly suggest ditching kickers and defenses.
Yeah,
Interesting.
I think next year because the one I have with my friends, I'm the commissioner, and I'm very looking into ditching kickers and defenses, and then just going into adding 2 flexes and one being a super flex
super flex is a blast.
Yeah,
it's a lot of fun.
So
it definitely changes your draft strategy because you have
the
2
quarterbacks are more important.
Yeah, you score a lot or not a lot.
Yeah.
You don't have the right one. So
that's it. I've always thought about adding an IDP too. That would be fun.
It's fun. You want a high flying linebacker is what I always tell everybody.
Makes sense.
Yeah.
Micah Parsons would have been the pick to have.
Yes, my brother actually has him in our league, and he's destroying everybody with him. He's averaging like 30 points a game, which is insane. Yeah. Just imagine what that 30 extra points could do every game for you.
Right.
You know what I mean?
Right.
I'm scared to take out kickers and defense, though.
Don't be afraid to do it. Trust me.
It's kind of fun. Like, I don't know.
Kickers suck, dude. It is the worst. Just get rid of them.
But I kind of like the aspect of like you can win a game with your kicker going off for like 15 points.
Yeah, which doesn't happen very often anymore.
What kicks me in, what really grinds my gears though is how defenses can go negative. Yep. And it's just like, oh, my team put up 130, my kicker went -4. I lost a game by 5 points.
That's why we got rid of defenses, team defense, and we went straight to IDP.
I would be okay with swapping.
I think I'm going to do just like add another flex and then be a super flex. I don't know about the IDP. I'll have to talk about that. My friends are kind of dumb, so trying to explain that to them would be
the majority, because
really
I'm also the commissioner. The majority of my friends too. I don't know if they would, be all.
They'd be like, board. "What? I don't understand what this process is."
They'd be like, "What? We've been doing it like this for like 5 years. What do you mean we're going to change it?"
I could definitely sell like the add 2 flexes. One could be a quarterback, and they'd be like, oh, "Okay, that's cool. More points."
It was hard. It was hard getting my league to transition from ESPN to Sleeper, but
that's a challenge. But
I like Sleeper a lot.
It is so much better.
It is so much better. Yeah, it's
hashtag not a sponsor, but boy, they are so much better than ESPN.
Yeah, I agree. One of my friends, I remember, he started the season 0-6, and he called me or he deleted his team name, made his profile picture black, and was like. He dropped some really good player and was we were like, dude, what are you doing? And he was like, fuck Sleeper. I'm never using this app again. If y'all want me to play next year, play on ESPN. And I'm like, so you're blaming Sleeper for your team being bad.
Maybe he should draft better.
Yeah, exactly. Come on, dude. You can't do that. But he ended up bouncing back and finishing 5-8. So
well, at least he got 5 wins, I guess, right?
Yeah, I mean, but still, I was just like, come on, bro. Sleeper
can't be a quitter.
It's better, man. It's just I can't explain it.
It is. The platform itself is just so much more user-friendly, and it's faster, and it updates everything faster.
Yeah.
Yeah, I love the breaking news dinger that you get if you sign up for that on their settings. I mean, they have everything for injuries, whatever it may be, your team scoring, everything. It's a good app.
I also like the little mascots that fight while you guys play.
Yeah, that's kind of fun. It's a little touch that ESPN. Yeah. Well, the problem with ESPN is it hasn't updated its app in 10 years. Mm-hmm. It's literally been the same thing.
Yeah, literally.
And the way that fantasy is booming, it's changing. People are changing the way they're playing. They're changing their research. It's just a booming company altogether, and it's just something that ESPN has failed to adapt with.
And the only thing that ESPN keeps on doing is hey, we got Matthew Berry. And it's just no.
Right.
I like Matthew
Berry.
Push him.
I love Matthew Berry, but they push the fuck out
I like Field a lot better.
Field.
And that's nothing against Berry because he's the GOAT. But Field.
I like Field too. Yeah.
I tend to agree with his takes more than Barry's for some reason.
I just like the way Barry writes. I think he's a really good writer.
He is and his show is entertaining. He does a lot to make it more than just talking about numbers all the time.
Right.
Mm-hmm.
So he does a good job about that. But
yeah.
All right, in terms of actual fantasy playoffs, let's talk about some who are your list of most important players for the fantasy playoffs.
Man,
Off the top of my head, if I had to name some, I would say Cooper Kupp is a league winner. Justin Jefferson is a league winner. Travis Kelce could be a league winner just because of the positional disadvantage. Running back wise, it's a little harder because everybody's injured right now. But I would probably say Jonathan Taylor is going to be your league winner in that.
Oh, without question. He should easily finish as the number 1 running back in fantasy football at the end of the year.
I'm trying to think of any other running backs though.
Austin Eckler.
Oh yeah, that's true.
And he's tough because he's questionable for Thursday, which sucks for people that have shareholds.
Did not know that.
Yeah, he's questionable.
That's why I had the bye. They should rest him.
Side note,
y'all's bye is this week? We started last week.
Yeah, so side note on that, and I put that in my blog for Thursday actually, is that I am not a fan of first round buys in fantasy football playoffs.
Really?
Interesting.
I just think that, you have all these guys putting money into this league and trying to win. And more often than not with these bye weeks, there's 2 teams on the outside looking in that could have been in and you could be playing more. I just think the more the merrier in the playoffs. I mean, they all want to win.
Yeah.
I just like that aspect of it. And maybe that's totally the wrong take, but I just think that that's how we do it in one league. In the other league, we don't. But I just think it's more competitive when those 2 teams that were supposed to be on bye aren't just sitting on their couches watching their teams play when they actually have to compete the entire season. Does that make sense?
Yeah, I get you. But for us, the way that we did it, because we started out as a 4-team playoff and then we expanded to 2. And I don't think we're a 12-man league, and if you can't get in the top half, then it's like you don't really deserve to be in the playoffs, even though there is the money. And we like to dish out punishments. So if you're not in that top half, like get ready to eat some hot wings.
Oh, wait, that's one of my questions too I had for this. Is that your punishment you guys have?
Yeah, we'll get into that in a second. But yeah, mine's if you get last place, you have to do the Blazing Wing Challenge at B-Dubs.
Okay. All right.
We'll
get into it in a bit though. But in terms of other important players,
it's going to be tough because it really comes down to their strength of schedule for the playoffs. And that's something that you kind of have to look at, the last couple weeks leading up to this point, just because you want to have somebody that is playing, a money freaking schedule for your 3 playoff games and not a tough matchup. Yeah. And then you also throw in the factor of everyone staying healthy with this COVID outbreak that the NFL is seeing right now. I mean, that's going to affect the fantasy football playoffs more than it ever has.
Yeah, definitely.
You're going to have to stay active on the waivers. As far as injuries go, like just for an example, Damian Harris is still questionable for Saturday's game, which another note, people, there's Saturday football games this week.
That's going to be one to remember.
Yeah, and if Damian Harris doesn't play, well, I have Ramondre Stevenson, thank God. So I'm going to be starting him because he is a freaking monster out there too, just like Damian Harris. So it's just making sure that you have your backups in the right spot and for the right players. If you got a player that's had a lingering injury the entire season, you should probably have that handcuff sitting on your bench for the playoffs for now more than ever.
There's always one weird player that just like pops up out of nowhere for fantasy playoffs. I remember, I think like 5 years ago or something. It was before Kamara was in the league, but for the Saints, Tim Hightower was one of the guys who was a real league winner like 5 years ago. So something every year there's like one guy that you need a late season waiver wire pickup that you need to get that'll win you your league. And so it's just a matter of finding out and determining who that is.
Right, exactly. One that could possibly be it depends on what happens with Darrell Henderson in Los Angeles, but Sony Michel's looked really good the last 2 weeks.
That's true.
He only had 10 points last game, but they really didn't need him to do much. He still looked good running the ball, but the game before that, he had 21 plus points. So, I mean, I think, in my opinion, he's looked better than what Henderson has done on the ground this year. Whether or not that matters what the Rams coaching staff thinks, probably not. But it's something to think about. Another good one would be Rashad Penny. Last week he blew up.
Shit.
I didn't even think about that.
Yeah.
Somebody should be picking him up tomorrow on the waivers if he's not already on a team, because the way it sounds and the way he looked on Sunday, he will continue to get the football.
So what you're saying is I should probably drop Michael Carter for Rashad Penny right now.
Well,
Carter
still could come back. So
it's tough. He usually sits on my bench. I don't know. I have James Robinson as the problem, though. So
yeah, I also have James Robinson. I really need, the thing is because I picked up Madison whenever Cook went down.
So Madison's on the COVID list now.
Oh, shit, really?
So you should be able to slide him on your IR.
Okay, that'll help me at least pick somebody
and
up.
you could probably do that with Michael Carter, too.
Oh, I can just drop Corey Davis.
Yeah, that's a good idea.
Man,
drop Corey Davis.
Davis.
Yeah, a lot of people were, though, I think, just because kind of a new scenery for him, and he just didn't do anything in Tennessee.
Oh, no.
Speaking of that, who are, now that, kind of the year's coming to an end, who are some of the, Corey Davis could be considered one. I don't know if he's one of the biggest, but what are the biggest disappointment? Yeah, biggest busts of the year.
I think as number one, I hate to say it, is Terry McLaurin.
Slightly,
really
yeah.
Sucks.
Slightly,
he just hasn't had the big boom games that you drafted him for.
Yeah.
And as a shareholder of his, I can definitely attest to that. It's been a struggle. I've put him on the bench more than I'd like to admit.
Yeah, Elijah and I have him on our GTD team.
He'll show up every once in a while.
Yeah, and he'll put up like 17, 18, but you're right. He has had like 0 boom games.
Right, and now he got hurt last game, so that's fun. And the last 2 games, he had 9 points and 5 points. Before that, it was 21. Before that was 13, then 6, then 25, then 6, then 8.
Yeah,
and it's just kind of been – he's been very inconsistent. And I think, the fact that Fitzpatrick wasn't there, I think that made a big difference, because that's one of the main reasons why I drafted McLaurin so high, was because, Fitzpatrick likes to sling the ball.
Yeah.
And Heineke has just looked terrible the last 2 games, and he got hurt. He's going to play, but I really don't care, I don't think. So it's just it's a tough situation. So I would say McLaurin is one. Travis Kelce is as consistent as he's been. He has had his 5-point games and 7-point games, and he just didn't.
There's been a couple,
Yeah, he just didn't do that last year.
Yeah.
And, considering I took him as my first overall pick, he's a bust. And I would say Saquon Barkley's in that same resume. He's been bad, but the Giants are bad.
Yeah, Saquon was my first-round pick, but thankfully I traded him away after week 2, so
yeah,
that worked out for me. But
I
think my number one biggest appointment would probably be Allen Robinson.
Allen Robinson's a really good pick for disappointment.
Yeah, because,
so
everybody picked him in the top 3. Yeah, me too. I stayed away just because it was a Bears receiver, but their quarterback questions and everything.
I thought about drafting him too.
But he's so good. Like, I feel like he's really talented,
He's always been consistent. That's the thing. He's Mr. Consistent. But this year it's been just a nightmare.
Terrible. It's been non-existent.
Right. Trying to think of some other ones.
DeAndre Hopkins would probably be a hat to throw.
Hopkins is, I would say that's fair. Yep, yeah. I would say that's 100% fair.
For fantasy-wise, he would also be, I know we were talking about most important players for playoffs. If you're a playoff team and you still have Hopkins, I think he's probably right up there. Because if he could play like he usually does in the playoffs, watch out, he could win you your league out of nowhere.
If he can stay healthy, it'll be fine.
Yeah. So in terms of, he missed a couple weeks, and then he's had some pretty lackluster games. So Hopkins would definitely be a name that I'd throw out there for a disappointing season.
Right.
I would also put Brandon Ayuk in there as well.
Yeah. Top.
A lot of people had Ayuk poised to have a breakout season.
And first 3 rounds, too.
Expectations for him.
Yeah, he went up high in a lot of drafts.
He did.
Very high.
I know that I don't know if this is considered a low blow or not, but because I know Calvin Ridley has his own mental things going on, but I guess in the fantasy world, he is a bust considerably. But
you could consider, if you a second-round draft pick on him, and he's only
Right.
played.
And that's
even when he
nothing
did play,
against him at all because I know he's got his own
Yeah.
thing going on, and that's
Yeah.
totally perfectly fine. But just looking at it as a fantasy aspect, and same with AJ Brown.
yeah,
Yeah,
that would be
AJ
another
Brown.
good one. Yeah,
I mean,
Kyle
you
Pitts
yeah,
is another one that, he's had a couple of big games, but in the grand scheme of things, he's only like tied in 9. And, couple
Right.
guys drafted him early and often. So
yeah. And I tried telling people that at the beginning of the year is that there's something about rookie tight ends that just don't work out.
yeah.
right.
The last rookie tight end to actually be fantasy football relevant was Evan Ingram. I think that was 2017 when he was.
And
a
the
rookie.
irony of it was that was probably his most relevant fantasy year.
Right. And then prior to Ingram, you have to go all the way back to Jeremy Shockey's rookie year.
Which was
So
I don't
it's
even remember.
very
it 'cause I was-
few and far between when
Yeah.
tight ends are relevant as a rookie in fantasy football.
Yeah. And then you
Yeah.
have Dalton Schultz, who went undrafted, and he's tied in number 5.
Right. Right.
So
That's part of it. That's
fantasy.
it is. You just never know. I think
yeah.
DJ Moore could be another name you could throw out there as far as a fantasy bust, just because the quarterback situation in Carolina is a disaster.
True.
which was
Sure.
somewhat expected, I guess, with Darnold.
Yeah, right. He looked pretty decent the first quarter of the season,
Yeah.
and then
Well, for the first 3 games, especially.
and then I think he just showed his true colors after that. So
Yeah. I knew to stay away from him. I had him last year, so I knew his talents and traits. And thank God I traded him last year, and I definitely stayed away.
you guys have any players that you think overachieved from your expectations?
I mean, obviously Cooper Kupp.
I mean, Jonathan Taylor overachieved from what I thought he was going to do. I thought he was going to be a first-round bust.
Sure.
Austin Eckler has been pretty great. I took him 5th overall in my personal league, and a lot of guys were like scratching their head. They're like, "Why'd you take him like 5th? You could have grabbed." I don't know. I can't remember what other guys were available, but
He's the number 1 overall fantasy player. Period.
Eckler is.
No, Cup. I'm sorry. For some reason,
Kupp
I said
is.
Cup.
Oh yeah, I drafted Kupp. I think the 4th. or
Yeah,
5th round.
Eckler. I think he's number 11 overall.
Mhm.
I think you would have to put Cordero Patterson up there as well.
Absolutely.
The biggest surprise. 100%.
Yeah, huge surprise.
Without question, probably the biggest surprise.
And I'm
Just
trying to
because
think of
you
anybody
didn't
else.
know. I mean, he's been in the league for
So long.
8 years and 9 years, and nobody's known how to use him.
Yeah.
And then all of a sudden, Atlanta, which is a dumpster fire, decides to throw him out there, and he just exceeds.
Yeah, the fact that Cordero Patterson's good though makes me believe that Arthur Smith is probably a good head coach.
Yeah, he knows how to use them. He knows
Yeah.
how to utilize his players, and they've had a rough year, but Matty Ice just isn't what he used to be. I don't think,
No.
Yeah. He's getting up there, and
which kind of makes me sad because I've always liked the guy. He's always been a serviceable fantasy football quarterback. But
oh, definitely for fantasy wise, yeah, he's been pretty consistent.
right.
All right, we talked about it a little bit with Elijah mentioning his the hottest Buffalo Wild Wings. But first off, I want to talk about our favorite all-time punishments, but also what are your guys' leagues? Elijah, is that your only punishment you guys have? Is just the Buffalo Wings challenge?
Yeah, we went with the Blazing Wings challenge because like before we tried to do stuff where like, oh, at the next party we have like we'll tape the loser to a tree or just I don't know, just something crazy, and then nobody actually sticks to it. So I tried to make sure we all got on one that was like sucked, but still like you couldn't really bitch out of it as easily, you know. So like I went with this because it's gonna suck and like you can't really. We were in between that or like do the stand up one or like I don't know. I think it was in between that and do stand up for 5 minutes, and we write the jokes for him.
That'd be amazing.
Yeah, it would have been funny, but we took.
Do they have to do it at like a stand up club, like open mic night?
Yeah, open mic night.
That's awesome.
Yeah, that would be amazing.
Yeah, that was a ripoff. I got that from somewhere off the internet. With Blazing Wings, I've drummed up myself, but I'm excited to do it. I'm excited to see. I'm definitely going to drive up back to Fort Worth to see somebody eat those wings, the loser. So I think it's a pretty good one.
That's not too
best.
harmful.
Yeah, not the best, but I think it's a good one.
JD, do you guys have any punishment?
We don't right now, really. I mean, I buy a little tiny trophy. I'm the commissioner in our league, and I buy a little tiny trophy it's a toilet, and it's got a big old turd in there, and then I put their name on there. But so we used to shave the loser's head, and this is Decker. Can you wait for buddy?
What's up?
Okay, buddy. I'll be there in just a minute. Sorry guys.
No worries.
So we used to shave the guy's head that got last place. That's actually a lot of fun. I highly suggest doing that.
That would be a good one too. Yeah.
Yeah. Yep. So we'd take him out on the deck and we'd take the trimmers to him and then we'd bick it after that. So I mean, it was full-fledged shave. Yeah.
Oh,
That's a good one. I haven't seen anybody do that one in a while.
no guard or nothing, just straight up.
Well, right. So we do it with the guard to get it down, and then we bick it after that,
Oh,
so that
man.
we weren't pulling hair, with the
Yeah,
blood.
I got you.
Yeah.
But no, still, so straight to the skin.
Yeah.
Oh, so like full bald, like true.
Oh
bald.
yeah, like Jason Statham.
Oh, that's great.
Damn.
My league this year, we're doing. I wanted to do the open mic night, like Elijah said, but what I wanted to do is tell him we were gonna write the jokes and then give him a blank card. So whenever he got up there, he just had to like freestyle. But my league was like, "Oh, if I lose, there's no way I'm doing that." And I'm like, "Don't fucking lose, then." I mean, but anyway. We ended up deciding on the loser has to complete the entire NFL combine, every single workout, and the winner gets to record their stats, and the loser has to post it on social media, all their stats too, and with like the caption like "I'm terrible at fantasy football" or something like that.
Well,
So
funny.
it's not as harmful. I wanted the stand-up comedy. Another one we considered too that was kind of funny was doing the loser has to recreate the Sports Illustrated body shoot and turn it into a calendar.
That's funny too.
Which some of the people in my league are like former college linemen. So like imagine them doing like a pose. It would be weird. So that's kind of why we decided to move away from it. But
Oh man, it would
The
be
wa-
funny though.
Yeah, the Waffle House challenge is another classic one.
Yes.
I've seen that on the
People are
internet.
doing. Yeah, so
That sounds terrible. I'm not gonna lie.
Oh
it
my
would
God.
be so boring. There's also like taking the SAT just because of how embarrassing it would be to be like, a 20-something-year-old man with all these 16-year-old kids. Like,
well, the worst part is that they do the SAT at like 7 a.m.
yeah.
So you gotta wake up at like 6 a.m. as an adult to take the SAT again.
You can't
Right.
you can't have your phone. You just have to sit there for like 7 hours. And
Which, I mean, if I got last, I would definitely be like, no, I'm not doing that. So
Yeah,
one I've
no,
seen,
but I don't get last though.
yeah, no, it's not possible. I've seen one trending on TikTok. Is like the loser gets inside of a dog crate for like a certain amount of time, and the rest of the league just like throws shit at them and like pours milk all over them and like I don't even know, just torments them basically for a few minutes.
Wow.
Yeah, there's plenty of them, but all right, that's mostly what we got for fantasy. Best of luck though to everybody in their fantasy playoff journey. Hopefully, I get the dub in my league. Hopefully, you guys get the championship in yours. JD,
Absolutely.
thank you so much for coming on. It's
You
always a
bet.
pleasure talking to you.
Just a couple reminders for everybody. I know it's late in the season, but it is a good practice. Make sure that you have your flex players in their main slot if they have a Thursday night game or a Saturday night game so that you can flex if you have to.
Yes.
It's just a good practice to do.
Yeah.
And you can really screw up your team if something happens. Like if you had a running back play
Yeah.
Thursday night and they played, but then your other running backs got hurt for the rest of the week, well, you're not going to be able to swap them out. So just something to think about.
Yeah, no, and definitely it's something small, but it can have a big impact. I always do that as well. But alrighty though, thank you for coming on. I'm sure, again, like I was saying, we'll probably see you again. Be sure everybody to go and check out all of James's content over on our website, writing some great blogs, talking about mentioning his Thursday blog as well. That'll be up. So be on the lookout for that. And yeah, I'm sure we'll talk soon.
Well, thanks for having me, guys.
Yeah, thanks for coming on.
Good luck in
What? Sorry.
Good luck in week 1.
All right. Thank you. I see it.
See ya.
that was funny. I just heard like a little and I was like, oh shit. Right after I clicked the button. Alrighty. We just got a little bit of a UFC talk we're going to get into, and then, of course, end it with Love It or Loathe It. So if you didn't know, UFC 269 was over the weekend, and it was a hell of a fight card. It was the last pay-per-view event of the year and arguably the best. I mean, the main event was nuts. Even some of the prelim fights were nuts. But I think the biggest takeaway is that Amanda Nunes fight. You were watching it, right?
Mm-hmm.
Dude, that was fucking nuts. What's just your initial reaction to it?
That just, I think it's always worth to put a little bit of action on some big underdogs in the UFC because, again, just anything could happen.
Dude, I was literally, Colton's been on the podcast before. I was texting him about the fights, and I was like, I could just throw $800 on Nunes to win 80, and he was like, literally free money. And I was like, I had it typed out, and I was like, I'm one button away, bro. Like, don't tempt me. And I ended up
about to do it.
I was about to, but I didn't. I did not do it.
Oh my God, that would have been so bad.
It would have. Oh my God, I would have like that Joe Exotic meme. I will never financially recover.
No, but literally. But
yeah, that would have fucked me. Yeah, so glad I didn't do that. But I mean, no, because I mean,
could you imagine if you put $800 on the other chick though?
Oh my God, dude, that would have paid for college.
I mean, no, but it would have paid for fucking. You could buy a car if you put $800 on her.
Yeah, it would have been a lot of money.
Been
at least like 5 bands.
It'd been a car.
Yeah. No, but I remember just before the fight started too. Like I was watching with some friends, and we were all just saying like, "Oh, here we go, another Nunes domination, like another excuse for her to pad her highlight reel." I mean,
she got her ass kicked.
The first round though looked like another Amanda Nunes clinical. Like she was just beating her ass. She had 3 minutes of ground control, but then the second round, bro, Pena was just like it was like I don't even know, dude. It was like Rocky style, just like the way she was piecing her up, just like one at a time. Like there was no big knockout punch. It was just slowly but surely, just oh my God, it was nuts. Mm-hmm. I couldn't believe it, but
yeah. And then Oliveira, that fight definitely took me by surprise. Turns out Charles Oliveira is the champion for a reason. He got a champion fight for a reason, because he put fucking Poirier to sleep. Dude,
yeah. I mean, Poirier, I will say, though, that first round in the stand-up was kind of ugly. Like, Poirier was fucking him up in round 1.
Right. I was pretty happy. I was like, fuck yeah. I was like, maybe I should have put more money on Poirier.
Yeah.
I mean, I didn't put that much, but I put some. And I was like, damn, this is kick ass. And then all of a sudden, the second round, he had him on the ground. And he just kept on rubbing his face on him and using his elbows. And I was like, shit, this doesn't look good. Well, hopefully third round it comes to the stand-up and just... Which, by the way, the standing up choke, or is that the rear naked choke is what it's called?
Yeah, standing rear naked choke, yeah.
It's my favorite move in the UFC.
Dude, it's like
it's my favorite move.
If you, as like the person attempting the submission, if you get their back while they're standing up, it's literally GG's. Like it's over. Like, which was crazy that Dustin let that happen, because I feel like Dustin should know that, as a jiu-jitsu artist, that's the kind of shit Oliveira is going to go for.
Yeah, he's a good enough fighter to where he should probably go against that. But
you probably tried.
It's one of my favorite moves because like in your mind you're like, he's gonna go to sleep. He's gonna go to sleep, and then they just go limp, and then you're just like, go to sleep. Like,
yeah, that was nuts. Though.
Yeah,
he deserves it though. I will say I doubted him too. I mean, I thought Poirier. I still do think Poirier is the better fighter.
Dude, it's crazy. This the guy that I went golfing with, he told me like the week before, he was like, Bama money line, like book it. Like, and I was like, I don't know, I kind of like Georgia, but I'm not gonna bet on it. And he was like, nah, dude, Bama money line plus 200, like all the way to. And then the next week, he was like, you have to bet on Oliveira. And I was like, really? Like, I got money on Poirier. And I was like, how much money did you put on Oliveira? And he was like, at least $50. And I was like, okay, dude, sure enough.
Okay. I mean, it did scare me though, because Poirier's odds went from like minus 162 to like minus 125 at one point.
Right.
So I don't know, but it was an entertaining fight nonetheless. I mean, lightweight is the most entertaining division. Next up in line, we got Justin Gaethje is going to be fighting Oliveira, so that's going to be a good one to watch too.
Oh hell yeah! Probably gonna put money on Gaethje too, like a dumbass.
I'm gonna put money on Gaethje, bro. Gaethje, one punch, bro, and Oliveira's out of there.
I'm definitely gonna put money on Gaethje.
I think you have to. But other than those, I mean, the main card was pretty good. You got Cody Garbrandt getting his ass knocked out by Kai Kara-France, which that literally busted my fucking parlay. It's okay though, because Poirier lost to who else? Jeff Neal and Santiago Ponzinibbio. I don't even know how to say his last name. They went into a split decision. That was a really good fight as well. But yeah, mostly, I mean, that main card was really just highlighted by the Nunes upset. It was nuts. But oh, and O'Malley. How can I forget about O'Malley? Dude, the Sugar Show goes on. Another ass beating. So that's the whole reason that inspired this next little tidbit is talking about O'Malley and just how he's kind of risen into such a big box office attraction. We wanted to throw together a little like rankings of the biggest box office draw or TV pay-per-view draw in the UFC right now. So, I mean, our lists are pretty similar for the most part. But Elijah, what is your top 5?
Yeah, so this is a mix of also like my personal top 5 and what I think is the biggest draw. So first off, McGregor, obviously biggest draw in the UFC still.
Yeah.
Next up, I got Israel Adesanya. He's still a style bender. I know he lost his last fight, but he's still a top 5 draw. Next up is my personal current favorite fighter right now is Francis Ngannou. I can't wait to see him reclaim the belt against Gane. It's gonna be a great fight. I'm gonna bet on Ngannou. I fucking love Ngannou. He's just a grown man.
He is fun to watch. Yeah,
he's just a grown man. And
he's
then
scary.
Carl Usman is another guy that I just love watching. He's
Kamaru.
Kamaru Usman. I'm sorry, I don't know why I said Carl. He's just scary. He's the Nigerian nightmare for a reason.
Yeah, him and Ngannou are like the scariest two dudes in the UFC.
Yeah, and Usman just has a chokehold on his division like no other fighter has right now.
Yeah, literally.
And then last, I think O'Malley's probably one of the other biggest draws. Even though he's not fighting for titles right now, he still has so much buzz just because of his personality, the way he fights, and his internet presence. Definitely everyone knows about him, even more casual UFC fans, even though he doesn't really fight in ranked matches.
Yeah. I mean, he has, especially like the last 2 years, he's fought 6 times in the last 2 years. So he's generating buzz too because he's just getting involved more. But my top 5, I have 2 separate ones. I have my like actual top 5, what I think are the top 5 box office, and then my favorite top 5 to watch. It's really hard to make a list of like my favorite because aside from other sports where you always have like a favorite team and a true fandom, like I like so many fighters. Like it's hard to pick a group of favorites. But anyway, I agree though. McGregor, obviously far and away number 1 still to this day, box office draw. Number 2, it would be Adesanya, same as you. He's just so good. He also has a good personality as well. Mm-hmm. It would be Khabib in that spot. I would have Khabib as the number 2 if he was still fighting, but he's not. And then I have Sean O'Malley a little bit higher at number 3 just because I think he has been pulling in the younger audience, like the TikTok audience, you know, like the 13 to 16-year-old type range. So even though he, like you said, he's not fighting the main, main event fights, people are still watching, especially because he's free. More people can watch him because usually his fights are free. And then I also have Usman on that list at number 4. He's just so damn good. And then last but not least, the Diaz brothers collectively. Either one, Nate Diaz or Nick Diaz, the UFC loves them. So the fans always go nuts when they're fighting. My top 5 personal fighters, though, is a little bit different. Adesanya is number 1. He is just far and away my favorite fighter. And then Sean O'Malley at number 2, because he is just so fluid and a unique strategy, or, what's the word? Unique style when he fights. Number 3, got to give the women's division some love. Valentina Shevchenko is my favorite female fighter, and it's fun to watch her knock people out every time. And then Derek Lewis is number 4 for me, just because, the Black Beast, his interviews post-fight are always hilarious.
My balls is hot.
Yeah, exactly. And then he had that one, too, was like, call Donald Trump. He told me knock this Russian motherfucker out, and I said USA in this bitch. It's just like, And last but not least, to round out my list would be Max Holloway. Always entertaining to watch him.
Yeah.
I have some honorable mentions to Patty the Batty and Tai Tuivasa, because Tai Tuivasa is that dude, bro. He did another shoey this weekend.
Hell yeah. Yeah, I'm sad that I didn't bet on him. Yeah, I think for me, another hat to throw in there would be like Thug Rose.
Doug Rose, yeah, that's a good one.
She's definitely one of my, for female fighters, she's definitely my favorite. Trying to think of other guys. Max Holloway is another guy, of course, like scary. Gaethje.
Oh,
is
Gaethje's
definitely
a good one.
Gaethje's definitely probably like, if I see a Gaethje fight, I'm gonna look forward to it.
Because that's just literally like a crazy knockout in half of his fights or more.
And Ngannou again is just my favorite fighter.
Yeah, that dude, he's fighting. It's Ngannou versus Gane next, which is going to be crazy. Gane's like that big ass, also freak of. I think it's in January, but Gane's undefeated, so that's going to be a hell of a fight too.
I can't believe it was sheesh. I've done that in a minute. Yeah, because UFC's over for the year, right? They're not doing it anymore.
They still have like fight nights, but no more pay-per-view events. I think they have one more fight night event.
Okay, yeah, because I remember them saying like, "Thank you for a good year" or some shit on the last one. I was like,
yeah, it's mostly done.
Yeah.
All right, let's hit some love it or loathe it and round this off.
Let's do it. I'll read to me first.
All right, yeah, I got you. All right, first up, we got Odell Beckham Jr. said in October that he can't catch COVID because he had COVID. Oh, he and COVID had a mutual respect, yet he tested positive today.
I love it. I think it's hilarious. just OBJ.
That is some Odell shit. All right, next up, Spencer Rattler is transferring to the University of South Carolina.
So I'm going to love this. I think it's a very interesting move. He was definitely linked to UCLA before this happened. South Carolina is definitely one of those schools where like he'll have expectations, but he won't. You know? Like, he'll be playing the SEC. Yeah, he was the former number 1 ranked quarterback, but also it's for USC on the East Coast. So it's not like there's a huge winning tradition there. I'm pretty sure like their coach used to coach at OU. That's why he went over there. But no, I thought it was an interesting move at first, but the more I thought about it, the more I like it for Rattler. He definitely like the first thought that popped into my mind is that first round's probably at the door, but him going to USC and probably putting up decent numbers against SEC schools will be like a second or third round pick.
Yeah, no, I agree. I do like the move. It is interesting, but weird.
Mm-hmm.
All right, next up, the tickets for Jaguars at Jets this Sunday are as cheap as $12 a ticket.
I love this. My lunch was more expensive today. This is an NFL game. I bought the tickets for the same price for weekday Rangers games when we sucked.
Yeah. That's
true. To the fact that you get this for an NFL game, I don't care if these are the 2 worst teams in the league.
Especially in New York too.
Yeah, no, New York, like I don't know. It's crazy. But I mean, I guess if you don't have anything to do in New York this weekend, buy Jets tickets for $12.
I mean, I would.
And those are the cheapest ones. I was like, so I clicked on to see what the other ones were, and they're like $15 and $18 for better seats.
But like, I'm not a Cowboys fan by any means, but if I see Cowboys tickets for $12, I'm gonna go to a game. Like,
you're joking me? Like, they're like $300 for decent ticks.
Yeah, exactly. It's out the wazoo.
Mm-hmm.
All right, next up, we got Steph Curry. This was preemptive before we started, but now it has been made official. Steph Curry just broke the all-time three-point record in the NBA.
I love it. Steph Curry is, of course, the greatest shooter of all time. He now proves it with this record. I don't know what else could be said about Curry other than that. I mean, shoot.
Shoot.
He's a shooter.
Steph Curry cooking in the pot.
Yeah.
Last but not least, we got Quinn Ewers, sticking with the transfer talk, is transferring to Texas from Ohio State.
I love it. My dumbass really thought he might come to TCU.
The thing that, though, rumors have it that TCU told him he would have to compete for the starting job, and he immediately ruled us out.
Those jackasses
No, honestly, fuck that. I don't want to give him a job. No, he has
I
to
would.
earn
He's
it.
the number 1 overall ranked recruit.
But how many games have you seen him play in college?
0, but I mean, like, whatever.
It would have been cool.
It's weird.
But
It's a weird saga for him. He transferred to UT, or he committed to UT, decommitted, went to Ohio State, now transferring to UT. Interesting story, but
it is kind of weird.
yeah,
I mean, it's his hometown, state team, but
he's what it is.
alrighty.
All right, so Matthew Stafford has been in the league for over a decade, and last night was his first win against a team with 10+ wins. Holy shit.
I'm going to love this just because of how crazy of a stat this is. I think this speaks volumes as to how just dog shit the Lions have been for the last decade, because Matthew Stafford has, without a doubt, been a consistent good quarterback in the league. Probably top 10 every year of his career, almost. And the fact that he just now got a win over a team with 10 wins, that's crazy. So I love it for that fact.
Mm-hmm. Max Verstappen defeats Lewis Hamilton to win the 2021 Formula F1 Drivers' Championship after a controversial last lap in Abu Dhabi.
I'm going to loathe it, but I want to talk about it just a little bit. The race over the weekend was absolutely nuts. It lived up to all the hype, but it was absolute bullshit, like total bullshit. Lewis Hamilton, there's literally a picture. So for those that don't know, and Elijah, I know you probably didn't wake up at 7 a.m. to watch the race. So it came down. Lewis Hamilton was literally leading the race by like 14 seconds for like almost the whole time. Right. And then it came down to, with 1 lap to go, Latifi crashed his car and the red flag came out, like the safety flag. So they had to stop the race and re-line up on the grid with 1 lap to go. And at the timing that they called the red flag was after Lewis Hamilton already passed the pit stop, but it was before Verstappen did. So Verstappen literally like snuck in, got a fresh pair of tires, and then got back on the grid right next to Hamilton for 1 lap. And in terms of racing, fresh tires are going to beat old tires any day of the week, no matter how good of a racer you are. So it's like, it's fucking bullshit that Hamilton didn't win.
That's some fuck shit.
It's some fuck shit, dude. And everybody's like, no, that's the rules. That's the racing. And I'm just like, I mean, I get you want to have a new champion instead of the same guy for 6 years in a row, but like, Jesus, that was not cool. I didn't like it.
All right. The Lakers are considering trading Russell Westbrook and have been in talks with the Nets.
I loathe it, especially because the Nets rumors. I would hate for the Nets to get even more of a superstar. And I also hate the fact that Russell Westbrook has just been bouncing around, I don't like it.
Maybe Westbrook.
It's just Westbrook.
Yeah. Bryce Young wins the Heisman Trophy, first Alabama quarterback to do so.
I love this. I think he definitely deserved it this year. There were a few other guys that could have been in the conversation, but he was one of them. And also, it's just nuts that this was actually the first quarterback from Alabama to do this. Kind of hard to believe.
Yeah. O.J. Simpson is now a free man after getting off parole.
I'm going to love it just because it's fucking, just for the meme of it. It's OJ. I didn't even hear about this. I didn't know he got off parole. That's pretty funny. What a guy. What a winner. Okay. All right. Well, that is all we got for this week's episode. Great way to end it there with a little bit of OJ.
Terrible. Awful.
Great. No, dude. He's an upstanding citizen. What are you talking about, dude? All right, but that's it. Thank you again. I know JD's not here, but big thanks to JD for coming on, get some NFL fantasy talk in there. We'll be back again on Thursday this week, another live episode. So till then, thank you guys for listening, and we'll see y'all then. Elijah, you got anything to add? All righty, peace.